Simon Says subscribe and click on the bell icon to receive notifications.
And welcome everyone to this Advanced Windows 11 course. Congratulations on making it to the other side. Windows 11 has a lot more than meets the eye, way beyond all the basics and fundamentals that you've probably learned on your own or in other classes. So in this class we go a little bit beyond the pale, where we start talking about essential keyboard shortcuts, which are going to make you much more efficient and much more productive. We also talk about different file management tips, getting under the hood with the file manager itself, working with individual tabs, and again, some essential keyboard shortcuts for working with Windows. Some of you may have heard of the snip tool, but in this case we're going to go a little bit beyond because Windows 11 has added on yet more features. They've also allowed you to work with the Start menu, going a little bit deeper into the Start menu for customization, and then the search options are a lot better than they used to be as well, now with the new and improved Bing AI chat tool. And there's so much more, so stay tuned and we'll see you in the first lesson. Thanks everybody. Let's just first take a look at what the taskbar looks like here in Windows 11, just so we can understand what's new in Windows 11 compared to previous operating systems. Well, if we take a look first of all, you'll notice that my taskbar automatically comes up in the middle with my Windows logo right there, and then a few other features here to follow it. But let's go ahead and start over here on the left-hand side. This is known as my widgets icon there. If I click on that, a whole bunch of things are going to come up here. We're going to talk about that in a future lesson in terms of how to modify and customize this. I'm going to go ahead and click away. Now you'll notice over here I have my Windows icon there, and that's going to go ahead and take me to my Start menu. And then following that I have the ability to search, and then also I have the ability to search with AI with Microsoft's new Bing AI features. Now you'll also see here that I have the option to go to different task views. One of those tasks you might want to do is working with additional desktops, which we're going to talk about later on. And also, if I click on it, you'll see here I have all my open windows that I can go ahead and toggle between. I'm going to go ahead and click away. And then following that, I have the ability to do different types of chat, which is basically a light version of Microsoft Teams if you want to chat with other people who are on Windows 11 and within your team. Now to the right-hand side, you'll see a bunch of icons here that I've saved to my taskbar. And you'll also notice that below the ones that are open, you'll see is a little dot. Okay, and now this one is not open and these are open. But I may not like what I see here. Now I'm going to go ahead and right-click on that, and I'm going to choose Taskbar Settings. And now you're going to see it's going to take me right to this personalization section of my settings within Windows 11. Now let's go ahead and we're going to see what our options are here. Do I want these things or not? Well, let's go ahead and start off with search. Well, do I want to have the search box, the search icon only, the search icon and the label, or do I want to hide it entirely? You're going to see when I choose that, I get a real-time preview of what that's going to look like. Go ahead and choose that, search icon only, that's great, or I can come right back to search icon and label, and then go over here to search box, and now I'm back where I started from. Great. The task view. Well, you know what? I actually like to use the keyboard shortcut for that, so I can very easily turn that off, or turn it back on if I change my mind. We're going to talk about the keyboard shortcut and how to access the task view in just a little bit. So let's go ahead and turn that off. Now widgets, some of you may really like, some of you maybe don't want it. So you can very easily turn those off and just notice it goes away. And we can have that come back. I'm going to keep that on for a future lesson. Chat, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. We're not going to be doing any chat. And that gives me a little bit more room on my taskbar for future icons to work with. Now let's go ahead and come down to here to taskbar behaviors. I click on that, and very simply I can choose my taskbar alignment. I'm going to go ahead and make that to the left. So I like that. That kind of gives me some nostalgia from how it used to be. That's great. And then do I want to automatically hide the taskbar and then just bring it back when I want it? I can certainly do that. And then badges are basically, if you have different types of notifications, you can have badges show up there like 1, 2, 3 or a little dot. That's going to tell you that there's going to be notifications for you. So there you have it. That's how we customize the taskbar, giving us a little bit more control of how we're going to work with this new operating system. See you in the next lesson. One of the great new features of working with Windows 11 is that it gives you the ability of multitasking. That is, working with multiple documents and multiple applications at the same time. Earlier, I showed you the Task View button that was on the taskbar. But I want to show you this time how we can access that by using a combination of keyboard shortcuts, which is the Windows key, which is on the lower left of your keyboard, plus the Tab key on the left-hand side as well. So if I just hold down the Windows key while tapping the Tab key, you're going to notice it's going to show me all of my open documents and also open applications. And very easily I can go right to it, no problem, come back to it one more time, go to another and go to the Microsoft Store, come back to it, very cool, and I can go up and down, I can see everything that I have available. Now in future lessons, we're going to talk about different desktops, so put a pin in that. Let's go ahead and come back to the Microsoft Store. And then I'm going to use a nice little keyboard shortcut to go back to my desktop, which is just the Windows key plus D. Very good. Now I'm back to that. So very cool in and of itself. But now let's talk about how we can work with multiple windows on the same screen at the same time. Now Windows 11 gives you a couple of ways to do that as well. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to open up to Edge. And you're going to see I'm going to go ahead and maximize that. And what I'd like to do is make it so this window is on the right-hand side while also looking at my Excel document and then possibly even a Word document at the same time. Now, how do we do that? Well, if I move my mouse over here to the right-hand side, you're going to notice that these little icons appear. And each of these icons is an indication of where we're going to have this window that's currently open appear on the screen. Do I want it on the far right and have something of equal size on the left? Do I want to have this on the far left, but two other documents over here on the right-hand side on the upper part or on the right-hand side on the lower part? So very, very cool. Well, I know I want to have three. So what I'm going to do is very simply choose this, and then that just pushes it over to the left-hand side. And now I can choose, well, you know what? I want to have my Word document over here in the upper right. These guys jump down over here, and I'm going to have this Excel document in the lower right. Beautiful. Now I have that all set up for me to be perfectly situated and viewed how I want it to. But guess what? This is not finite. This is not static. If I wanted to resize this, I can very, very easily do that. So watch this. When I move my mouse to the edge of where these documents meet, I can go ahead and just simply click and drag, make that a little bit smaller. I can also make this a little bit taller if I wanted to. Very, very nice. Very cool. And now I have that all set up how I want it to be. Perfectly. Love that. Now we're good to go. Now let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and maximize this now. I'm going to show you a couple other nice little keyboard shortcuts that I can work with now as well. Because I would like to do the same exact thing I did, but not having to use the mouse. So you can do that by holding down the Windows key and then the right arrow, and then that just docks it to the right. If I use the Windows key and the left arrow, and I do it twice, that's going to dock that to the left, and then giving me these choices to, okay, what do I want to be in this upper quadrant? And now I'm going to bring up this PowerPoint document, and there I have it. Beautiful. So there's a lot of different ways to accomplish the same thing. Practice that, and we'll see you in the next lesson. In this quick lesson, we're going to learn how we can open up items from our taskbar using a keyboard combination shortcut of the Windows key plus a number. Well, the number is going to start from our File Explorer window going over to the right. So it does not include our search or our start or our widgets. So if I wanted to open up my File Explorer window, I would just do Windows key plus the 1. If I wanted to open up my Edge window, do Windows key plus 2. Now if I move these around, then of course these numbers would change. So very easy to do that. So then Chrome would be Windows plus 2. So let's go ahead and try that. Windows plus 1 opens up to my File Explorer. Windows 3 should now open up to Edge. Perfectly. Now let's go ahead and Windows 2. That's going to go ahead and open up to Chrome. Beautiful. Try that out and have fun. In this lesson, we're going to talk about how to work with multiple desktops. Well, why would we even want to do that? Well, it's all about organization and control and for productivity. Well, if we take a look at my taskbar down below, you're going to see I have a lot of icons there. And for you, you may have it even more. So it's going to start getting a little bit crowded. So you may want to categorize your desktops based off of different tasks and different functions and even potentially different software programs. So as an example, I may want to have my graphic design programs on their own desktop, my office programs on a separate desktop, and so on. So how do I do that? Well, first of all, I'm going to go back to my Windows key plus the tab, and you're going to see I currently have one desktop here. So what I want to do is I want to make it so my graphic design programs are going to be on one desktop, And then I'm going to keep my other desktop the same, but then I'm also going to add on another desktop for my Office documents and programs. So very simply, all I'm going to do is just drag Photoshop down here, and then bam, now I have that. And then I'm going to come back to desktop 1, and I'm going to go back here to Windows tab, and I'm going to drag Illustrator back over here to desktop 2. And now you're going to see as I toggle back and forth, I no longer have Photoshop and Illustrator down below. But then when I go back to this desktop, when I do my Windows key plus tab, and you're going to see there I have that, but it's all alone with no of those other Office documents and programs there as well. So really, really neat. Let's go ahead and go back to that again. I'm going to say Windows tab, and I'm going to add on another desktop here. Come over to this one, and you're going to see I can then very easily add on my Excel document there, and then also, bam, drag that down there. Now, it would be nice if I could rename these. So very easily, I'm just going to go ahead and rename this one to Graphic Design. Come over to here, and I'm going to name this Office, and I'm good to go, and I can very easily come back here. So now I'm going to come back, go there, come to there, bam, I have my Graphic Design, and you can see there's my Office. Now, that's getting a little bit tedious, isn't it? I don't want to have to go back and use my keyboard shortcut to go this, and then come back to that and do it one more time. I'm going to show you a nice little keyboard shortcut to be able to go back and forth between each of these, toggling through the desktop. And that is very simply the Windows key plus the Control key and the arrow keys. So watch this. Windows Control, and then I'm going to go my right arrow, and I'm going to that next one. Now notice I'm inside of my Graphic Design one. Keep doing that one more time. Now I'm inside of my Office one. I come back again. You can see there I am inside my Graphic Design, and then I'm back to my standard one. Let's go back, do that one more time, finish this up, and let's just bring our Word document inside of Office, and now our picture is complete. In this section of the course, we're going to talk about searching in Windows 11. Now, there's quite a bit of options within searching, so let's go ahead and explore those. The first thing you're going to notice is over here in the lower left of my taskbar, you're going to see I have the option for search. So let me go ahead and just simply click on that. And you're going to see this is going to pop up, showing me my recent searches I've done. You're going to see here's today's date. You'll also notice there are some things that Microsoft thinks are worthy for me, like different articles and things that are trending, things like that. You'll also notice that I have my account right there, and then other options for controlling different search settings. I'm going to go ahead and click away on that. Note that there's another way to search as well. If I click on the Start menu, I click on that, and you're going to see here this pops up. Yes, gives me the option to search, but it also brings up icons that I pinned in the past. So I'm going to be able to control this. I'm going to show you that in a future lesson. Let's go ahead and click away on that. Now I want to talk about a keyboard shortcut that I really like for searching, which is just the Windows plus the Q menu, which takes me right back to this. So let's go ahead and just now search right away. As soon as I do Windows Q, I can now just type out Excel. And this is going to show me, yes, I can open up the Excel program itself, and also it's going to show me all kinds of different previous existing documents that I've worked with in Excel. Now you'll notice that up on top, I have all kinds of subcategories, like apps only show me things that have to do with the Excel app, nothing more below. But also notice I have the web option. If I wanted to search for things on the web, I can do it right from this menu, and this will take me to the browser, and then it'll actually look for different things based off of that search. And if I'm looking for certain settings, I can go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and click away. And this time I'm just going to type out printer. And you're going to see here, this says all, but if I want to only do printer settings, I can click on that, and you're going to see there it is. It's going to take me to my printer settings. So this is a really great way to filter. So if you just take a look at what we have here, apps, documents, web, folder, there's a few ones hiding over here. If you know that you're looking just for photos, you can go ahead and do that very, very easily. So really neat, very easy to do. I'm going to go ahead and click away on that. And another one I want you to notice is the Start menu one. So earlier I just clicked on the Start menu, that took me there, but a really nice one, and one that I use all the time, is just tapping on the Windows key and just typing immediately. So this time I'm going to type out the word safety, and you're going to see that's going to pop up. Not only do I have system settings here, but I also have a PowerPoint document that has the word safety in it, so that opens up really nicely. So you've got lots and lots of options for how you're going to search. This is just a broad stroke overview. We're going to get a little bit deeper in future lessons. Windows 11 has not only taken searching your computer to a whole new level, but also searching the web using Bing's new AI chat tool. So if you look down over here in the lower left of your chat bar, you're going to see next to search is this little icon. You move your mouse over, it's going to say search with AI or artificial intelligence. When I click on that, it actually takes me outside of the computer and opens up to Microsoft Edge. Now you're going to see there's a whole bunch of things that pop up, give me some nice ideas of what to search on. You may have to be logged in to actually see some of these things here and also to see a nice little record of everything you've done. But if you want to just ask it anything, whether it's creating something, learning something, even looking at today's news, you can absolutely do that right from here. But because this is a chat tool, you can have a dialogue with it. So let's just go ahead and just say, how much do kitchen repairs cost on average? Hit enter, and you're going to see it's going to pop up with some information. It's searching for it. And you're going to see it's going to give me some information. And if I wanted to, I can even go a little bit deeper and ask it a further question about maybe geographical location, right? But you'll notice here it's going to give me some ideas of what I can do to continue the conversation if I wanted to. How about this one? How long does it take to remodel a kitchen? I click on that, and it understands the context of where I'm at. Again, we're having a conversation with it. Now, as it's churning it out, I just want you to notice here it's giving me little links and also references. So if I wanted to go a little bit deeper, I can get into this, but it's again showing me references of where it's got this information. Citations to basically verify that bit of content. So really nice, you can see I have all that information there. So you can see, very nice, very easy to do, and it's accessible right from your operating system. Anytime it'll take you here. Now, the last thing I want you to notice is it also shows you all of your different recent activity. If you wanted to get rid of some of these things, you can do that. Go ahead and get rid of waffles. Click on that, and you'll also notice that if I actually look at one, I have the ability to then thumb it up, thumb it down, also copy it, and also download it if I want to use it for the future. All right, so try that out, and we'll see you in the next lesson. In this lesson, we are going to talk about Windows 11's voice access feature, which is going to allow us to use this feature to execute different types of commands like launching applications, inserting text, opening up documents, and all kinds of other things. Now, Cortana has now been discontinued unless you're using it in the mobile app. So let's go ahead and see how we can access it, turn it on, and also modify all the different settings around it. So I'm going to go ahead and open up to my search, and I'm just going to type out accessibility, and you're going to see that one of my options here is accessibility speech settings. I click on that, and you're going to notice that currently my voice access is turned off. When you turn it on for the first time, it's going to say, hey, you need to download all the different language information around this. So go ahead and turn it on, and you're going to see it's going to walk you through a little wizard. The whole thing will probably take a couple of minutes, and we'll also run you through a little quiz of how to use it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn mine on. I do that, and you're going to see this little pop-up appears on top saying that it's been initialized. Now, before we leave here, I just want you to notice you do have the option to automatically start voice access after you sign into your PC, so you don't even have to worry about turning this on ever again. If you want to turn it on manually, you can just go ahead and search for voice access within your search. All right, so very good. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on for me. That's great. And I'm going to close out of my settings. Now, I'm currently at my desktop, and it's waiting for me to turn the voice access on. Now, I could just say these words, voice access wake up, or I can then go ahead and click. So now I'm going to go ahead and click on the microphone. Open Word. Click blank document. Dear Microsoft, period. New paragraph. Thank you for making such an amazing product, period. Go to desktop. And I turned it off, so now it's no longer listening to me. So you're going to get a little taste of everything you can do there. Pretty amazing. So if I want to turn it back on again, I can then again do one more time, Windows Q, and I'll just type out voice, go ahead, turn it back on just like that, and you'll see it comes back up to this once again, and I can go ahead and turn it back on, and you'll see all the different things you can do. Now, one thing I want to show you, and we go ahead and close out of this, is where you can get all the different voice commands in case you wanted to get to them. So let's go back to our original setting, and I'm going to just type out access, come over to here, and now you're going to notice here is this learn more about voice access. And this is going to take you to pretty much everything you need to know about this. It takes you to the Microsoft website, and you're going to see setting it up, getting started with it, and all the voice access commands, right? So when I click on that, this is going to give me everything categorized and a nice little table of everything you can do here. So definitely try these out. Work with the ones that are familiar to you, ones that you're going to be using all the time, and you're going to see it's pretty extraordinary, and they've really made some nice leaps and improvements in the product. In addition to searching all your documents and all your applications and your photos and any number of other settings within your computer, the Windows Search tool has a lot of other hidden features. So let's go ahead and check some of those out. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Search. And let's say, for example, I wanted to use the search box as a calculator. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and just type out some numbers. 100 times 290. And you're going to see that comes up, and then bam, there's my calculator right there. And then you'll see here I can even edit it if I like to, and you'll see there's even some search results for other calculators if I want to as well. So really nice, built in, there's a calculator. Let's go ahead and click away from that. And now let's use it as a dictionary. So I'm going to go ahead and just type out define serendipity. That comes up, and you can see it tells me the definition of it. Also gives me this little sound icon so I can play it if I don't know how to actually pronounce it. And you can see even more, there's some additional definitions, etymology, all kinds of other things here as well. So really neat, all built in. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to open up a browser to do that. Let's go ahead and see if I can translate something. How about that? Let's go ahead and click here. I'll say translate hello from English to Spanish. That pops up, and you can see there it is. Built right in there is the ability to translate it and also to be able to hear it. Let's go ahead and check out a few other things. How about a recipe? Click on that, and I'm going to say eggplant parmesan and recipe. Pops right up, and you'll notice here it's actually going to give me a number of different recipes, and you can see how it aggregates it and organizes all the content in a really nice way. And of course I can easily click on these to get more information. Right there, it's going to open up right to Edge, and you can see here it gives me a whole choice of a number of different ones, and I can drill down on each of them, and then bam, here's the one that I clicked on. Very cool. Let's go ahead and do one last one. Come back to my desktop, click here on my search, and how about this? Images of cute puppies. Click on that, and now that's going to come through. Here it is, and let's go to bing.com images, and you can see I have all these ones right here, but of course it's showing me all these other websites if I want, but I'm just going to go right to these guys. It's going to take me, again, right to Bing, and it's going to take me to the results that I want, but if I don't want these, I can go back to all the results combined. So very cool. Try those out, but just note that the search is so much more than searching your computer. You can go out and use it as a multi-tool for a number of different capacities. If you'd like to control how Windows searches your computer in terms of filtering out certain types of content and how much it's actually searching out, in addition to working with the history of your searches, Windows has some really nice tools around that. So let's go ahead and click on Search, and in the upper right hand corner I'm going to go ahead and click on the ellipsis, and then from here I'm going to click on Search Settings. I choose that, and you can see there's a number of different sections here: Safe Search, Cloud Content Search, My History, and even more settings if you want to get a little bit deeper into it. The Safe Search is about filtering out adult content. So you might want to filter out some images if somebody is searching for these things. You want to be very strict about it. Or maybe you want to be able to see the words but not necessarily see some images. You can make it more moderate, or you're going to turn off the Safe Search entirely. Totally up to you, but really great if you're on a family computer, or if you have another account that somebody else is using that you want to limit the different types of search results that people see. Let's go ahead and come down to here for the cloud content search. This is basically kind of an intelligence that the search has, knowing that you are connected to your Microsoft account, and says, hey, listen, based off of what we know about the different apps you're working with and different services and your different accounts and everything like that, what we should be searching on. So not everybody gets the same type of search experience. So if you want to get that, you can have that. So if this is turned off and you're not getting the type of search results you want, maybe this is why. This part's really great. This is actually saving my search history. So if I now go over to here to my search results, you're going to notice here's all of my recent search results. There's my cute puppies, there's my eggplant parmesan, and then here below are some of my other settings, my applications, all this stuff that I've searched on in the past. Really, really nice. Now, if I don't want people to see what I've searched on, I'm a little bit embarrassed how much I love puppies, I can go ahead and remove that, and it's gone from my recent search results. But if I don't want them to be saved at all, I can very easily just turn this off. And if I want to remove them entirely from the search results, I can go ahead and clear device search history entirely. But it's really nice because if I want to go right back to any of the ones I've searched on before, I can very, very easily access those. All right, let's go ahead and come down below. You can see here, show search highlights, see content suggestions in the search box and in search home. Sometimes those can actually be a little bit annoying that maybe they're giving you too many search results and you know what, none of them are valid. You can go ahead and turn that off, or maybe they're helping you, so make sure that those are turned on. So very, very cool. Now let's go ahead and scroll up to the top. And I want you to see one last thing here. I'm going to come way up to the top. I'm going to click on searching Windows, and then this is going to take me to something called indexing. Now from here, this is going to show me how Windows is searching through my computer to find all the things. That's what indexing is. It's constantly searching throughout my computer, adding into its catalog so it knows what to search for. As you're adding in more files and more applications, the index gets loaded up with new information. Now, if yours is not working properly, you can change some of these things here. If it's using up a lot of battery life, you can change some of these things here as well. Classic will use up less battery life because it's not searching quite as much. Only your documents, pictures, and music. Enhance actually searches lots and lots of stuff in your computer, so you may actually want to have that on if that's important to you. And you can see here, here's also an option for excluding folders from your enhanced search. Certain things you just don't want it to search, right? It's not important. It's getting overridden with things. Let's go ahead and turn those things off. So you can go ahead and add on an excluded folder very, very easily. And then if you want to go even deeper, check some of these things out and see what else you can do for other programs, including Outlook and other types of options of where it might be searching from. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close this out and show you one last thing of how we can get to that if this is important to you. Click back on my ellipse and you can see here is my indexing options, and that'll take me right back to where I just was a minute ago. Windows 11 gives you a number of options for customizing the File Explorer window. Let's go ahead and open up to the Documents folder and also the Outline subfolder, and let's go ahead and just simply click on one of these icons here. And you'll notice I get no preview. I'd like to see a preview of it. I'd also like to see some information about that. So let's go ahead and see one of the first things we can do for customization. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to View, and I'm going to come down here to Show, and I'd like to actually see the details of this all the time. So I click on that, and you can see I have everything all right there. I click on this, I can see I have all kinds of information here. Now, what is this information? I have the title, I have the authors, I have the size of it, and I can also add in different tags for searchability. You do everything all right here, right? So very neat. Click on that, great. But now I'd actually like to see what this document is, maybe before I even open it up. So let's come back to View, go back to Show, but this time I'm going to choose Preview Pane. And now I can actually see it. So let's go ahead and make this a little bigger so I can really see this, and I can also resize this by clicking and dragging this way, and beautiful, now I can see that, and it can even scroll down. Let's go ahead and take a look at a PowerPoint presentation. Choose that, and you'll notice here it is, my PowerPoint presentation, and as I scroll down, I'm able to see each individual slide and also the animation within that slideshow. Really, really neat stuff. Very important to have that there. All right, so I go ahead and click away. Now let's go ahead and see other things that we can do to customize the view. Well, within this view menu, you're going to see here I have all these options here. Extra large icons, you can see here I can come back to where I just was with my details, all this good stuff here, depending on what you'd like. Now let's see what it can do working with images. Let's come back over here to pictures, and we're going to see I have all my pictures here in this view, and this view is as details, but I'd like to actually have it as extra large icons. but I'm going to use a keyboard shortcut combination to take care of this. Let's go ahead and click away. And this time I'm going to do Control Shift and the number 1, and that pops right up. Really neat. Control Shift number 2 takes me to that. Control Shift number 3 takes me to that one. Let's go back to our documents, and I'm going to open up this time to my Excel files. I'm going to do Control Shift 1. That makes them nice and big. Not really very good for me. I'm going to do Control Shift 2, Control Shift 3, and Control Shift 4, and that takes me back to those. All right, let's come back to Control Shift 1, and you can see there I am. Now Control Shift 6, that'll take me back. So you can try all those. You can see there's lots and lots you can do there. All right, now moving on. Let's see what we can do to have a little bit greater productivity with our files and with our folders. So within the actual File Explorer window and also over here on the left-hand side, you'll notice that there are these little pins here. Some of these are going to be like my favorite ones that I'm working with all the time. You'll notice some of these have pins, some of them don't, but I'm going to go ahead and make it so this particular folder is always going to be there no matter what. How do I do that? By simply right-clicking. I'm going to say Pin to the Quick Access toolbar, and then you can see there it is, and that now has a pin. If I don't want that there, I can right-click on it, and I can say Unpin from the Quick Access. You'll also notice if I don't want any of these, I can go ahead and right-click on that, and I can say Remove from Quick Access, and then that one will go away. So Windows will actually add on some of these automatically unless you change those settings. Really neat. So let's go ahead now. I'm going to go ahead and double-click on this, and let's now right-click on an actual file, and you'll see I have the option to add as a favorite. And this is one I use all the time because there are certain documents that I'm using constantly and I want to be able to add this to my favorite so I have quick and easy access to it. And this is for documents, not for folders. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Add to Favorites, and nothing really appears to happen, but if I go back to my home, you're going to notice there's now this Favorites section. And there it is, there's Charts. Let's go back to my pictures. Let's try that with this one. I'm going to right click on that. I'm going to say Add to Favorites. Beautiful. And I'll come back to home and you can see there that one is. Now, the last thing I want to talk about here is how we can add on items that are in our File Explorer to our Start menu. So let's come back to my Documents folder, and let's say, for example, this Outlines folder, I always want to have access to that. I want to be able to do it a little bit faster and not have to open up my File Explorer window. So if I right click on that, earlier we saw how we can add something to the Quick Access toolbar, but here I want to add this to my Start menu. So I click on that, and again, nothing appears to happen, but when I go to my Start menu, you'll see again, very hard to see, because this is actually broken down into kind of two rows here, because you can see by these two dots. If I click on that, you're going to see there's Outlines, and if I right click on that, I'm going to very simply say Move to Front, and now that's always going to be there for me. And then when I click on that, I can very, very easily go right to that folder with very little effort. One of my favorite new features in Windows 11 while working inside the File Explorer window is the new tab feature. So if you'll notice over here in the upper left, I'm inside of my Documents folder, and notice how it's shaped like a tab, very similar to how you might see it in a browser. You'll notice over here to the right hand side is a little plus sign to then add on a new tab, also noting the keyboard shortcut of Control-T. Well, let's say for example I wanted to open up my Excel files folder in a new tab, thereby making it go side by side with my Documents folder. Well, very easy to do that. I'm going to go ahead and right click on that and then very simply open a new tab, and then there it is side by side. Let's come back over this way. Let's go and open up to Outlines. Right click on that, open a new tab, and now I have 3 of them all set up here. And let's go over here and open up to a new tab. That opens up to the Home tab. But now whatever I open in this tab will then take the place of my Home tab. So let's go ahead and open up to, for example, my Documents folder, and let's go to Resources. Now that lives inside of this tab. So now let's go ahead and see how we can interface with these. Well, if I want to go back and forth between all of these, certainly I can click and click and click, but you probably noticed by now I really like keyboard shortcuts. So the best way to toggle between all these is the keyboard shortcut combination of Control-Tab. Control-Tab, holding down the Control key and tapping the tab, and that allows me to go through all of my open folders all at once. Really nice, allowing for much more fluidity and efficiency for my navigation. Very cool. Now let's say, for example, I had something inside of my Outlines folder and I wanted to move it inside of Resources. Well, how do I do that? Well, as easy as just simply clicking and dragging it, moving it in there, and then moving it back down. You can see here it is, move to Resources, and now it's moved from Outlines into Resources, and now it's there, moved away from here. Great. Now let's say I wanted to close these. Very simply, all I need to do is just click on the X, or notice the keyboard shortcut of Control W. Also note, if I wanted to close all of them, I can go ahead and right click. Notice here is close other tabs except for this one. I can go ahead and do that. And now only my Outlines folder remains as a tab. Tabs are a fantastic new tool for efficiency and productivity. Try it out and have fun. In this quick lesson on our File Explorer window, let's discuss how we can add on file extensions so we can see what type of file format these are, and also how we can add on checkboxes for easier selection. So very simply, we're going to go back to our View menu, and we're going to go back to Show, and you can see way down on the bottom is the item checkboxes and also file name extensions. Let's go ahead and just choose file name extensions, and you'll see, like magic, I know that this is a Word document, this is a PowerPoint, and these are PDFs. So that can be very, very helpful, especially if your icons aren't showing through or if you don't recognize them. Now, lastly, let's go ahead and go back to our View menu, choose Show, and now I'm going to add on this item checkboxes. And when I choose that, you'll notice now when I mouse over, I have the ability to then check these checkboxes for multi-selection. Outside of that, if you didn't have those, you can use the Control key or the Shift key. The Control key allows you to select things that are not next to each other. You can see doing that. The Control key, I can do that. If I use the Shift key, I can select one, and then as I'm holding down the Shift key, I can select the last of them, and notice the entire swath of them then gets selected. In this lesson, we're going to discuss the amazing clipboard history function within Windows 11. Well, let's say you have something that you've copied, and then you've got something else that you've copied, and then you've got another one, and you've got another one. Normally, when you copy something, it only stays in the clipboard counting the last one that you've copied. So there's no real history of it. Well, introducing Windows 11's clipboard history. Well, let's go ahead and go to our settings, and I'm just going to type out clipboard. And let's just see what we have here. Go over here to clipboard settings, and you're going to notice up on top, I have the clipboard history. Save multiple items to your clipboard, and it gives you the keyboard shortcut of Windows key plus V to view your clipboard history and paste from it. By default, your clipboard history is turned off. Let's go ahead and turn that on, and let's just see it in action now. I'm going to go over here to a Word document, and I'm going to copy that. So let's just go ahead and copy something from this document, and I'll just go over here to copy. That's great. And let's go over to here to another document, and I'll go ahead and copy something that's formatted a little bit differently. Copy that. And then you know what? Let's go over to here to Excel, and I will copy, let's just say this guy right there. Copy that. And you know what? Let's get out of that and let's go over to here to a browser, and let's copy this. Copy that. And I'll right click on that one and choose copy. Well, let's just say I want to put some of these things in a brand new Word document or maybe even in an email. Let's go ahead and see now. I'm going to do a new Word document, and I'm going to do what the program told me to do, which is the Windows key plus V, and guess what I'm going to see here? All of my clipboard history. Isn't that amazing? So guess what? Even something that I copied 4 times ago, I can now paste into it. Beautiful. I'll go ahead and do Windows V one more time. Let's go ahead and bring that in, and look at that. Perfect formatting comes in. Let's go ahead and take a look from another application altogether. So I choose that, and look at that. It even brings it in an Excel style format as a table. So it understands what I'm trying to do. And now finally, how about that one that we took from a browser? And beautiful, there you have it. And it does its best to kind of translate into the language that it is currently in Word versus a browser language. Right? But fantastic, I absolutely love this. Let's go ahead and go back to our clipboard history, and I just want you to notice a few things here. Number one, if I'm done with these, I don't want to see them anymore, they're just kind of getting a little bit too cluttered, I can go ahead and clear them. You'll also notice if I click on these three dots here, you're going to see that I can then just either paste it in as just plain text, which basically means it's not going to be formatted at all, or I can remove this individual one right from there. Okay, pretty cool. But let's say you have something that you use all the time and you always want that to stay there. You can pin it. Okay, so let's just say I'm going to be just constantly using this heading. I can then pin this so it's always going to be there no matter what, right? So if I just kind of keep copying other things, let's go back to Edge and let's copy this and right click, come back to my Word document. And now I'll go ahead and paste that in. And then notice how this is still remaining. It gets pushed down, but it still remains, right? So even though I'm going to have more and more and more coming in, this will always remain. So now I choose that, and then bam, there that is. So just to illustrate the point, let's just go ahead and copy a whole bunch of other things. So I'm going to go back to this Word document here. I'm going to copy that, bam, copy this, okay, copy a few more things. And now let's go back to our Word document. And let's just see what happened to that one that I pinned. Guess what? It's still there. Even though all these other ones came in, this one remains. Okay, so there you have it. That's the clipboard history. Use it. It's absolutely essential and incredibly valuable. In this lesson, we are going to discuss the new and improved snipping tool in Windows 11. Not only can you take screenshots of still images, but now you can actually create videos. Let's go ahead and see how we can do this. You can actually access the snipping tool in a couple of different ways. Let's just first do it using the search tool. I'm going to click on search. I'm just going to type out snip and choose snipping tool. Now this is going to pop up, give me the option to now do a new snip. But now you'll notice that I have two different little tabs here. One is a camera and one is a video camera. So let's go ahead and see how this works. I'm just going to simply choose new. And now this is going to pop up with a few different types of snips I can do. Now, number one, here's the rectangle mode, right? Where I'm going to be able to just draw a rectangle about whatever I want. This is going to be a little more free form. I can just sort of draw sort of haphazardly whatever I want. You're going to see this one is going to be the window mode. I'm going to show you what that one looks like in a little bit. And then this is going to be the full screen. It's pretty much just going to choose everything that's on my screen. So let me go ahead and just first choose this one, the rectangle mode, and just simply click and drag. And as expected, it draws out a nice little rectangle. And then it's going to take a nice little screenshot and it pops right up. So you can see there that is. Now, this is the result of my screenshot. So let's just go ahead and see what options we have once we actually get the results. So if I wanted to now, I could do a lot of things to this. Number one, I could save it very easily. I can copy and paste it to another document, into an email, whatever I like. I even have the ability to share. And if you click on your three dots here, you can see I can open it up to the file. I can print it. I can do any number of different things. But what I'd like to do at this point is actually mark it up a little bit. So I'm going to come down to this section, and you're going to see I can mark it up with any number of different colors. I can change the thickness of the marker that I can mark it up with. I can also use the highlighter, and then I can also erase whatever I do. But then you'll also notice there's a few other nice little gizmos here, which is the ruler, which I really, really like. If I'm using a touch screen, I can use it with my finger if I wanted to, just touch on the touch screen, and that will make some markations and allow me to mark up using my finger. And then I can also crop if I've gotten too much. Okay, so let's just start off with a crop. I click on that, and you know what? I actually don't need to see all that. I'm going to click on my checkbox there. Good. And now what I'd like to do is highlight this. So I'm going to use a combination of the highlighter and the ruler in this case, because when I highlight, notice I can choose my highlighter color, green, and when I highlight, it kind of goes a little bit kind of askew. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that. So I really like to make it very straight. So I'm going to choose the ruler, and then watch this. I'm going to make it so it's going to go perfectly aligned. Can't mess it up. This time I'll do yellow. And now just simply click and drag across. See that? Can't mess it up even if I tried. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and make that ruler go away. And now, love that. Super happy. But now let's go ahead and just do another kind of pen option here. Let's just go ahead and do a red pen, and then I'm just going to do a circle around this, see what I can do there. Beautiful, love that. Now let's go ahead and just very simply copy that. I'm going to bring that into Word and paste it in. And perfect, exactly how I want it to be. If I want to put that into an email, I can do that just the same. All right, so now let's go ahead and come back to our snipping tool. This time, I'm going to go ahead and just save it. And you'll notice that when I save it, I have different file format options I want, PNG, JPEG, or GIF, totally up to you. I'll just go ahead and save this as the default. And I'm going to call this Surface Screenshot and save it. Beautiful. And there you have it. Now, next thing I want to do is I actually would like to do a video of something because I want you to see how this looks like when I'm actually moving around the screen or any kind of action that I cannot do with a still shot of a screenshot. All right, so I'm going to close this out. I'm going to come over to here to my Excel document, and let's go ahead and make this bigger, because I want to be able to kind of go up and down on these things here, and I want you to see how I'm doing something. So let's come back to my snipping tool, and this time I'm going to use the video. So I'm going to say new. So now what I need to do is tell it what is going to be recorded, right? So I really want to have the whole thing there. Why not? Everything but my taskbar. And I'm going to choose start. 3, 2, 1 gives me a nice little countdown. And now from here, I can then just say, hey, listen, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to highlight all this content there. I'm going to go to there. It's keeping up on that. I'm going to go to here, and I'm just going to go ahead and just draw borders around all of those so people can see exactly what to do. Beautiful. And I'm done. So I click stop. And now it immediately takes me to this window where I can now play it. Beautiful. Excellent. And go down there. You can see that. And this is essentially going to be a video for me to share. All right. Now, just like I had earlier, I have all these options now to then share it and to save it and to copy it. All right. So let's go ahead and save it this time. And then notice it's going to save as an MP4. All right. So I'll just go ahead and keep it as the default name. Beautiful. There I am, super happy with that. And I'll go ahead and close it. Now, let's talk about how we can access the snipping tool with the keyboard shortcut combination, but I'm also going to show you some of the other features that we can do within the snipping tool. So let me go ahead and just restore this to a smaller size. And you'll notice here I have this window, I have a background, and it really could be anything else. But really my focus is just this window right here. Now what I'd like to do is make it so just this window is now being snipped. So I'm going to use a keyboard shortcut combination this time to bring up the snipping tool, which is the Windows key plus the Shift key plus the S key. And you'll notice again I have my rectangular snip, I have my freeform, then I have this little magical guy right there. And you'll notice all I need to do is just simply select this one. This is just going to be just the active window right there. So when I select that, you're going to see now I get just this window now selected and snipped. And now if we take a look at the snipping tool down on the taskbar, you're going to see just the window itself and nothing more, not the background or anything else. So this is a great way to do just individual windows as a snip. I want to be the first to say congratulations and thank you for taking this Windows 11 Advanced class. We covered quite a bit. We learned about troubleshooting, we learned about accessibility options, and we went under the hood quite a bit inside of settings. And now you hopefully are a file management and window pro. So this operating system has quite a bit to offer, and it will continue to grow and develop, as will your skills. So again, I just want to say thank you, congratulations, and we'll see you in the next course. Take care, everyone.
If you're not a subscriber, click down below to subscribe so you get notified about similar videos we upload. To see the full course that this video came from, click over there. And click over there to see more videos from Simon Says It.